All right, well, we finally came up on one of our most anticipated movies of 2025. I think for both of us, we were talking about at the beginning of the year. Weapons is finally out this week. It's had a lot of hype. I think people were all aboard the hype train. It's here now. King Z and I usually do dip into spoilers when we finally get our together on big movies like this. So if you haven't seen Weapons and you don't want it spoiled, please feel free to check out, go see it, come back and maybe give our video a little watch later. But King, you just you're literally just walking through the door from getting home.
I just got home from it like maybe 15 minutes ago, so there's no way we could do this type of review without spoilers. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the warning up now.
We
have been warned.
We told them twice. I forgot we had that graphic. But dude, you know what? Since I saw it Thursday, so it's kind of my thoughts are kind of settled. You know what I mean? I wrote up a couple of notes. I'm kind of good.
Mine are fresh.
This is fresh off the presses, fresh out the pizza oven. You know, he got the dough. He threw it up in the air. He did all that kind of stuff. That was kind of like a tangential Hitch related kind of joke with Kevin James. I don't know. Whatever. It's in the mood. I make the pizza. I throw the pizza. Don't do that again.
Don't ever do that.
Don't ever do that again. Right out the gate, walking out of the theater, if I stuck a microphone in your face, what did you think of the movie?
I think it was a good movie. Now, this was my first introduction to Zac Cregger type movie, so I don't have anything to base it off of his other one. I have not seen Barbarian, but I did find that it's on the flicks, and it leaves the flicks on the end of this month, so I'm going to have to catch that.
So you're walking out thinking to yourself, okay, not too shabby, pretty
not too
good,
shabby. I wouldn't classify it in classic horror. I would have moved the genre just a little bit. It's more tension and psychological thriller through most of it until you get into a few gore picks.
If I had to sum up my thoughts on this movie, how I feel about it, what I thought about it, it took me a while, but I came up with one word. Confused. Right? Not about the plot. Let me be clear. The plot's fairly straightforward, actually.
Yeah.
They hit you with a pretty big rug pull about 20 minutes in when they kind of reset things to what's really going on. Like everything you guys have seen in the trailer is literally the first 15 minutes of the movie, and that's it. And then everything after that is its whole new story. It kind of resets and you get into the what's really going on thing.
A masterclass of how to do a trailer because it got you excited without
for sure.
The full story.
Yep, for sure. It literally gave nothing away other than the hook, and the hook was all these kids went disappearing at once
at 2:17 in the morning,
and that's the effective hook, is that there was one specific kid that didn't go, so it kind of it embeds all those elements of mystery, around the teacher. Why with the one kid? What's special about the one kid? But dude, I'm confused because on paper, I should unequivocally have come away from this movie liking it. I liked everything from that trailer act, the 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is up front with the teacher, the parent meeting at the school, like the town hall meeting thing, all that stuff. All that stuff is great. Julia Garner, pretty good as the teacher, as Miss Gandy. She's got some problems. They layer up her little backstory a bit. She's a little too involved with the kids, which leads itself to its own kind of creep factor at points. She has a drinking issue that comes back to bite her in the ass once or twice through the movie. So it had good character work. I like Josh Brolin as the dad looking for his kid, kind of a little over the top, like in not persistent, because like you would be persistent. He's desperate. Like they're all desperate people. And then the gore stuff is good. I'm gonna jump right into the spoiler bit because this is all kind of my stream of consciousness, and I need you to help me sort it. The witch, the real witch, right? I like the magic system. It's simple. It's straightforward. She gets an article of you, mixes it with a little bit of blood from her. She's got a little bramble of branch kind of thing that she uses as kind of like the focal item to execute her will. And it's pretty simple. Like it's pretty straightforward. I don't need to know where it came from. Doesn't matter. The movie is what it is. And the magic stays uniform. Like there's no plot hole to that at all. It just is what it is. Right. So I like that. I like the idea of the witch. I like the idea of the mind control stuff, whether it's the principal, which was savage.
Yeah, that was parents straight out of nowhere. I thought she was like seeing something at that point. Like
wackadoo, right?
Yeah.
The parent self-harm, crazy. The gore at the end where the witch meets her demise, the ending was solid. Like, it was clever. The kid kind of flipped the script on her a little bit. It was like, oh, I've been watching. I've learned a couple things. I like that. But something's just, it doesn't add. You ever have like this problem where like you have the recipe, you got all the ingredients, you follow it all step by step, and it still comes out wrong somehow? That's how I feel about this. Like, I walked out of there like, the fuck did I just watch?
I think that was a little bit of what he was going for, where it makes you think a little bit. And like, you have to catch a lot of the little details. Kind of, there are a few directors who do this. I think Zachary Snyder did it real well with Memento, where it makes you think a little bit. Also, there's a movie out there called Mulholland Drive, where you have to actually
I remember Mulholland Drive. Yep.
Pick up on the little things to get the full story of it all. Yeah, but this one made you think, which I am glad. I'm tired of just here it is in your face, like a Saw type movie, just gore after gore, and the plot's paper thin, and it's just this gruesome death after this gruesome death. This one made you think a little bit. You're trying to pick out clues. You're trying to figure it out as they go. I love the mechanics on how they did it, where they started with one character and they went through them, and then they went to another character, kind of like changing chapters, but it doesn't start right where the other chapter left off. You go, it turns the page back a little
bit before.
So a little bit forward. So you see where they build up to, and then it keeps doing that. And I think that is a great way to kind of tell this story layered from different point of views. Like I said, this is my first introduction to Zac Cregger, so this might be something he did in Barbarian too. So if it is, go ahead and leave us a comment.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either, but I think Barbarian was more straightforward in terms of its format, like its delivery. Dude, everything you just said, I get, and I don't care. Like, this is not about your opinion's gold to me. You know, I'm not saying your opinion. I mean, like, it would be very clear this is not the demise of the Winter Wolfstand dynamic duo.
He's like, forget your opinion. Mine is right.
They're beefing in the den. Dude, I was thinking that coming out. I'm like, dude, the character chapter thing leading into the next one should work for me. It should add punch, but it didn't somehow, right? I'll say this, like you were talking about the plot being paper thin in movies like Saw. I'm like, I don't know so much that either of these is exactly like high concept plot, because once the witch shows up and takes control of the parents, it's dead ass obvious what's going on. You don't have to think after that. And she shows up 25 minutes in, 30 minutes in.
Actually, it was actually after an hour in. You don't see the witch.
Was it really that long in?
You see
she didn't come to visit?
You see glimpses of her in their dreams and stuff.
Oh, right.
But you don't actually meet her until
Gladys doesn't show up until an hour. That's in my notes. You're right about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, by the time you know that she's there, like, didn't you like, or that she's like, I don't know. It didn't add up to anything that was like, they got me. Like, oh man, they really fooled me on that. I should have been paying attention. I felt like I know what was happening, and I just didn't care, dude. I was so bored. Dude, I said this to my stepdaughter. I've never walked out of a horror movie ever. I almost left out of boredom here right before she showed up, because I felt like they spent so much time with the cop and with the junkie, and it was all in service of just getting them to that house for the end of the movie so they could be sentries. Like, that's it. They could have just had any rando two characters there, and I would have intrinsically known that somehow they were captured and forced into her servitude.
Yeah, but then you get no character development, which is one of the things we complain about.
But they're nobodies. They were nobodies. They were nobody characters.
She was. He was connected to the teacher. The junkie was connected to him. Like, there's connections here, and what you're getting is what he probably did. And I sat there and saw it, is that he was like, all right, how can I tell the story of Hansel and Gretel a little bit different?
All right, hold on. I gotta wrap my mind around that. How can I do Hansel and Gretel different? Two kids, gingerbread house, witch lives there,
and she tries to cook kids to eat.
Okay, all right. I mean, because I guess that is the core concept behind the magic, is that she's a human being. She's got cancer. We assume cancer. She's terminally ill, and I think she's just growing
old. I don't think it was really the aunt. I think she just the aunt.
Play for immortality.
This is how she keeps living. Okay. Kind of like the witch and Hansel and Gretel ate the kids to stay young.
Okay, I mean that's a great pickup then. But like she comes to town to cannibalize the life force of like her niece. So she's already a piece of shit. Right?
Yeah.
She identified her niece to do this. It didn't work. And then her next level plan is, well, maybe you can get some of your little friends to come over and I can feed
Younger, more life
right
in them.
Could have worked. Right. Okay. That's fine for that. That part all works. Doesn't mean, dude, the plot works. But like you're talking about characterization and how we want better characters. I'm like, dude, this is what I mean. This is how I felt for 2 days. Like I can't articulate why I feel like none of this worked. That we spent time with the cop interacting with the junkie in 2 or 3 different scenes to get them to a point where they're investigating this house, which does bring it to the one and only like kind of mechanical procedural plot hole that I have. No cop goes off the radio for 8 hours and doesn't have backup sent to him. Car's low jacked. You don't report in. You get somebody goes to where you're going. Even if you disconnect the dash cam, like people are coming to look for you. So that, but that's not even a big deal. Like that's what I mean. Like if this was a shit movie, I'd be pissed that happened and be like, this is trash. They should have done this. They should know better. I don't even care because I'm like, you got there, and that was that. And then it's just like you're the only reason we developed you is to do what? Make me feel bad when you guys are taking over at the end and get the crap beat out of you by Josh Brolin and Silver Surfer. I don't know, man. It did not work for me like that with those two. Brolin and Garner, yes. Like I thought they were the mains. Like that absolutely worked. You know? So that whole bit fell flat in the middle. Like it bottomed out, started strong, and then the ending is slightly less because I thought the absolute cartoonery of watching this old woman run through the backyard being chased by screaming kids played like an Adam Sandler movie. It was goofy as fuck. It did not work.
There was a lot of
long
laughter
shots
in my theater for that.
Is that good for a horror movie? Do we need that at the end of 7?
If you're going for a little bit of dark comedy.
Yeah, dude. But this, okay, see, that's my stepdaughter asked that same question. She's, you like dark comedy, you like Shaun of the Dead. Like Shaun of the Dead is funny when it's supposed to be funny.
American
when Sean's
Psycho
mother dies in the bar,
was meant to be serious,
funny.
and it's considered dark comedy.
That's satire though, and like every time
he acts, satire.
It's 100% satire. It was satirizing like the 80s Wall Street scene.
Yeah,
it's 100% comedy, satire. But not just even barring that, like they shoot it in a way where it's like it's the long shots with like no sound editing, so it's quiet except for the kids. She runs by in the back, and there's just like people drinking their coffee on the deck up front, and they just look, and then they just go back to drinking their coffee, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. I just don't know.
And
like people in my theater,
though, when they finally get their hands on her, that girl hit her like a linebacker too. He dragged him down and running back. Like
she was like, oh, she's at the 10, the 5. Oh, she tripped up at the 3 and torn to shreds.
Yeah,
by a bunch of third graders. That was pretty The gore was on point. I'll give it that. But like gore's easy. Gore's easy to do. It's like everything that happened in the middle. I'm like, I don't know. So like Wong. Right? I don't know what his name was in the movie. That's Wong from, Multiverse.
His name was Andrew or Matt. His
Steven or Paul. I don't know. It was Derek. I don't know. Who cares? It's Wong from fucking Marvel.
Yeah, his real name is Wong. Benedict Wong.
Ironically, but it's also Wong in Marvel. Like he principal, the witch aunt pays him a visit at the house and controls him to kill his husband for reasons, as if that would somehow disarm CPS from coming to visit. It wouldn't.
If he didn't contact CPS, because he was obligated, and if he didn't contact them yet, and you take them out of the division,
but the FBI was already in on it. Local police was already in on it.
But they don't know about that boy's in trouble. Remember, they cleaned up the house.
Yeah, but he's the only survivor of the 17,
and they're done with that investigation after they cleared the kid. They're not going back to look at that kid.
I don't know.
They're not going back to look at the house.
I don't know, man. You might be going back to look at the house if one of your cops doesn't come back, and one of the teachers says again that I went back over to the house and there's 5 people standing around a kitchen in the dark. Maybe I don't know, but that's not even the point. That's like nitpickery. It's like vibes, man. It's vibes for me that just didn't add up in the way that I really, really hoped that they did, and I'm like I said, I am baffled 3 days later that I have such a low opinion of this. Like basically, I wouldn't tell you if you like the kind of horror movies I watch that I like to go see this. I'd be like, you might leave
I would say
frustrated and
go
confused.
see it on what I based on me, because one, they built the tension all the way through until they showed Gladys, and then you
But
start
that's
going through
halfway
why
through,
Gladys.
like you said, and then it's not from there. It's not tense anymore at all until you get kind of a little bit further on when the junkie goes down. No, the junkie goes downstairs and sees there's a couple of kids at the bottom of the steps. He's going to the police. Then the one cop that already had beef with is going to kick the crap out of him. He goes, no, I'll take you over there and show you what they are. The cop gets captured. The junkie gets captured. It's like there's moments of tension, but it's like it's not strong. Like watching the cop come out of the house and grab that dude out of the car and drag him across the lawn is intense. It's tense when the mom comes out of the house and cuts Julia Garner's hair while she's passed out. That was pound for pound for me. That was the best scene in the movie, tension wise, because she comes around the front of the car and you're like, oh, she's going to smash the window. No, she's walking away. Oh, wait a minute. You hear the passenger door open. People gasped in my theater when that happened. That was
cool. All of us heard the door open and we're like,
right.
Like, oh no! And everyone thought the scissors were coming to the chest. Everyone thought that.
Yeah, I thought she'd get in the throat cut.
Cut the hair. Okay.
And then we see why. That's part of the targeting spell. The same way Wong's husband got it. So the hair or the article of yours can either make you the target or the missile.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it works.
Weaponize them.
The way you can be the weapon or the target, right? So that, for my money, that was the most tense scene in the film. But there's too many other parts where it's just like the comedy or the attempted comedy or the unplanned comedy just didn't work. Like when she gets stalked through the liquor store by the ex-boyfriend's current fiance and she gets the crap kicked out of her. I'm like, that's not supposed to be funny. Like it's supposed to be this chick's beating the crap out of you and pouring vodka on you.
They didn't laugh at that point. The only other time they laughed, other than the run, was when Josh Brolin woke up from his dream after seeing Gladys like there. He sees her and he's like, and where it took the place of his son, and he goes, what the? That's they laughed at that, just the way he reacted with that. That's the only other.
But I don't want to. I mean, do you want a laugh reaction at that point from your theater? I don't. I want that played seriously. Like I want that actor to be emoting like, what the fuck did I just see? In context of I'm trying to find my kid. I had this weirdo dream out of Nightmare on Elm Street. I ran through the woods and ended up running back into my own home. Like that's pretty cool. Like that's cool imagery. What'd you think of the assault rifle in the clouds in his dream with like the 217 ammo counter? I thought that was wildly out of place too.
Yeah, I didn't understand that part, but I guess
because they never readdressed it.
But I guess they were talking about like that they're going to be weapons. That's
yay. But they weren't guns. They were more like missiles or something. I don't know. As evidenced by your Naruto run demonstration earlier.
Naruto run.
Yeah, that was it. And that's kind of creepy. Like, it would be creepy to see somebody like Benedict Wong running at you like a crazed maniac in broad daylight at a gas station. Like, that would be creepy.
Yeah.
But, like, to juxtapose when the kids are running after the witch at the end, and for all intents and purposes, it's like the scene from the beginning of Dawn of the Dead. Like, these kids come smashing out of windows and screaming to run this chick down, but people are already laughing. You know, like, no, that scene should have hit like the beginning of 28 Weeks Later, where like dude's running for his life across the British countryside and jumping in a boat. Like, that scene should have blasted people.
Well,
but it was funny.
I think we were different people back then too. I don't think we were so desensitized.
Then that's a problem. Then horror's got a problem going forward, because like,
horror has a huge problem going forward. I've been saying this for years. It's hard to scare people anymore. They were talking about it in Monsters Inc. that kids are just so desensitized to stuff. It's hard to scare them. It's hard to scare adults. When
that's a problem. You got to get
everything we just lived through the last 5 years, and everything if you're watching stuff unfold before you, the stuff before us is just as scary. So how is a movie that you know is fake going to scare you?
I'll say this, man. I know when, and this is slightly before the 5 years, right? But like, you know, when I saw It Chapter 1, nobody laughed in the theater when that kid got his arm chomped off in the sewer. Shit wasn't funny. Like it sucked. It was ugly.
But there were points where people laughed at it when I was there.
When they're making fun of the clown at the end, like I didn't think what else was unintentionally funny. That's like, you can have comedy, but I'm talking about when things come across as unintentionally funny.
Yeah, like when it was growing and it had the big head when they're in the house and they're trying to fight it. People were just dying laughing during that.
Yeah, see that I hate the sound of that, man. I can't stand the sound of that. I like my horror played serious unless I know going in that I'm sitting down for Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead or something like that. You know, like, and I don't think that's this. And I'm not even sure that this is intentional on their part because the trailer plays it so seriously. You know, so I don't think their intention was to have comedic elements in here, and that like with the witch, like,
and that's the thing.
Half her performance is intentionally goofy to disarm you from when she goes ice cold.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a disarming act for her. But I think when people see chase scenes, so many chase scenes are now connected with comedies than horror or anything like that, unless it's cars and guns firing off. They just see it as comedy.
And I mean, you've worked behind the camera, so I mean, you got to know there's a difference in shot selection and like shooting, you know, day or night, and length of time. Like if that scene went on for like 6 minutes, like if they just had her run out one house at night and had these kids smash out of windows behind her, shot low and ragged like Gears of War from behind as they run her down, that hits a whole totally different beat than you're mowing your lawn going this way and I run behind you doing the goofy Looney Tunes run. And a bunch of screaming kids come in 3 seconds later, delayed. It's two completely different shots or sequences is the better word I'm looking for. You know,
I think they were going
for misfire for me.
They were going for the baffling look of them. Like, why is this old woman running? Why are these kids chasing her?
Like, well, because there's 17 kids chasing her. And, oh, look, they're the missing kids that have been missing for a month. You know, and none of them can talk, and they're all doing the same thing. It's just weird, and not in like and not in like a plot confusing way. I'm just like, I'm baffled that the creative decisions were made that were made, you know. But the movie explains itself. Well, I'll give it some credit. Like I didn't walk out of there being like, how did this happen? What was the witch really doing? How did she get the bramble that she was like? No, dude, the story makes sense like within its world.
But
so
I would guarantee you there will be 40 videos by tomorrow. Oh, yeah. The ending explained of weapons. I mean, what needs to be explained?
I'm not explaining that, dude. The kid flipped the script on her, like I said, stole one of the branches, cast the blood spell, commanded all the kids downstairs to go kill the witch.
And
that's it.
Their brains were gone and controlled. That's why none of them were talking. That's why they were like in a comatose state. That's why the parents are still in a comatose state.
Yeah. Now, so do you think that Brolin was able to come out of it because he was only under it for like 10 minutes or like an hour or whatever? Like,
yeah.
There's probably something to that. Because remember, the parents could talk initially because they were talking at the dinner table. Let's talk about a great scene. That scene actually chilled my blood where great aunt, whatever the hell her name was, Gladys, is all like, yeah, you're going to do what I said and you're going to promise, or I'm going to make your parents hurt themselves. Stab, 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 stab. I'm like, dude, that's some fucked up shit. And you get this poor kid pleading like, Dad, stop, like grabbing his dad's arm.
Yeah.
Like, dude, ugly. That's some chilling shit.
That poor kid was tortured.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, 100%. 100%. Like carrying 24 packs of soup in plastic bags. So I thought one of them bags was going to rip open.
Yeah.
I would have felt so bad for him. But no, do you know who played Gladys? Because I looked. I was
going to ask you that. Do you know who played Gladys?
The girlfriend from Uncle Buck.
Also, that's the wife from Field of Dreams.
And I knew, and I saw that on the wiki, and I knew you were gonna. That would have been.
That's the one I know her from.
Yeah. Yeah. Amy Madigan, I believe is her name.
Amy Madigan.
And she was great. That's basically a dual role. Like when we give people credit for doing two different things, the over the top hamming it up. Weird eccentric aunt.
When she's like in the public eye.
The public eye versus the behind the mask.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah, dude, like that was a great
lipstick. That lipstick was so wild, distinct.
See, it's like the creature design slapping, but again, it's like it's in service of telling me it's one kind of movie, like at the beginning, and then this kind of didn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me, I guess, where the teacher's having nightmares about her. Right, because she goes to bed a little tipsy, and when she goes to bed the first time, she sees what did she see? She saw a shadow in the room or something, and it was nothing, and she woke up. And then she woke up a second time. She saw the Gladys clown thing on the ceiling. People jumped at that, like that was legit Conjuring, Insidious level of we're looking over here and we're slow pan, and here you go. There's the scares. I mean, you see it coming, but people like that. And then again in the woods, there's the quick wave, but she's a little blurred in the distance. You're like, oh fuck, it's a real thing. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
and then you had the Josh Brolin where
Right.
his son turned into Gladys.
Didn't he roll over and not turn into Gladys? And then Josh
No.
Brolin's son.
Yeah.
Son. Yes.
Yeah, he rolled him
Yeah.
over and it was his normal son. And he's like, I wanted to tell you. He's like, where are you?
Yep.
And he's not talking. He's like, I just want to tell you so many times. And as soon as he looked up again, it was Gladys.
Yeah. And then when the other kid, the survivor kid, she's having the other nightmare and she sees all the kids with their heads down on the desk. When he looks up, he's got the half Gladys makeup on as well. I think that was in the trailer though.
That was in the trailer, yeah. But yeah, that was the teacher's dream that led to Gladys being on her roof or her ceiling.
Yeah, why was the teacher dreaming about this chick? I don't get it.
That's the thing, that she's in all of their heads because she was tracking Alex. She followed him home.
Oh wait, that's right. It happened before. It happened before the start of the movie. That's right. She had already been there, and they'd already advanced the plot to taking the kids. That's right. She was already there and did that. Okay, that was You know what? I just didn't catch up myself on that. The other great scene I wanted to get your take on is kind of the end, because this is another one of those tonal kind of back and forth that I'm having, where there's two sets of sentries. I'm just calling the adult sentry. The adult zombies are sentries, okay? So mom and dad are behind one salt line upstairs guarding Gladys's little shrine room. And then heroin addict and stupid cop that got stabbed in the face with the hepatitis needles, they're the sentries downstairs. So Brolin and Garner come in and they're milling around downstairs. They accidentally step over the one line, or he does.
She does.
And then was it her?
It was her.
Was it okay? I mean, you just saw it like a minute ago, so sure. They get into it with each of their respective combatants downstairs. Of course, she ends up having to fight her boyfriend. The potato peeler to the face.
Oh,
kind of gruesome. Yeah, people cringed on that. I'll give you that. Look at you fixing the shirt.
Oh,
you nasty. They get into that fight. Brolin's beating the crap out of this dude, right? Again, with the sound design, with like no music going on, like no score going on, it's just this dude screaming and Brolin punching him, and then he's quiet for a minute, recovers, screams, punched again. Dude, by the 8th punch, I shit you not, I said throw a left, and I had like 30 people laughing because the tone. I'm telling you, like I'm not the only one that thinks this way. It shouldn't have been funny, and it was, and I'm like, it shouldn't have been like that. But upstairs was all business, and this is the whiplash.
Yeah,
the kid makes the mistake of stepping over the
line.
He
doesn't make the mistake. It was a calculated. You didn't catch that?
To get them away from the room. So he
did loop back around.
Cool. Okay, cool. I did not pick up on that. Nicely done. But I'm giving them all the credit in the world. That shit was terrifying. That was like the Shining sequence with Jack on steroids.
But having your own parents.
Right. Well, I mean, that was Jack was coming after his kid. He was going after Danny. You didn't catch that? He was going after Danny. No, dude, that was terrifying. Like, they're pounding on this door. I wanted a little bit more terror out of the kid when he's got his back to the door on the ground. A little bit more emoting would have been good, but like he carried that whole sequence. It was good. I'm not going to say it wasn't.
He's been so tortured over this that he just had nothing left.
Cool. I mean, I can see that, and he had his wits about him to at least be like, double back, get the. I'm just going to call it a wand. I know it's not a wand. Get the stick. Right, and a wig. He needed the wig. He had his thoughts.
And I'm glad he made the thing where he found her real hair inside the wig and used that instead of using the wig's hair.
Because we don't know if the wig would have worked. Because if a name tag on your cubby hole would work, the wig might have worked. But why risk it?
But that was a more powerful spell too. If you notice, it wasn't the stick breaking one.
Oh, that's right. That was the targeting spell, and that did have Jennifer Garner's hair, and it did have Wong's husband's hair.
Yeah,
and everybody else that got had an article taken from them, and not a bio thing
in a pond and like some oil, and she threw like the thing and made the explosion.
Yeah, good call. So yeah, he probably got the wig and then took real hair out of it to wrap around the branch. That was good call. But that scene was tense as hell. No, and that's my point. Nobody laughing during that.
No,
during that sequence because it was slapping. That was some good shit. You know. People kind of on edge
on the downstairs one when he threw him over the couch where he just like hip tossed him across the whole thing. I was like, yeet.
Because it's Brolin. Brolin's what, 6'4"? Not exactly, a small guy. And the kid they cast as the junkie, is a stereotypical
Austin
like junkie,
Abrams is his name.
got bodied. I mean, how are you going to stab a dude in the face with a couple of hypodermics and not expect to get a shotgun blast to the face?
He thought it was Gladys. Just remember, he saw Gladys off to the
I
side
seen him.
there,
right?
Because he was in the house.
Yep.
He was stealing their PlayStation or the Super Nintendo.
It was old. It was old, which is weird because we know in this world they have real phones, like they have current day.
They have
smartphones and shit.
They have
ring cams on the house, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
But they might not. We'll buy him an old video game system just to appease him, type thing.
Yeah, maybe. Well, that family unit seemed like it would have been a solid family. The parents seemed like they were into their kid.
Yeah,
and that was effective. Like that was effective. Like when dad doesn't come to pick up the kid, I'm like, oh dude, that sucks.
Yeah,
that super sucks. Because it actually was a fairly well written family unit together. But all right, I think I've said everything I can say about this. I had a feeling you'd be higher on it than I would, given artistic choices that they made with the vignette kind of format. I knew you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah,
I'm a little surprised that you're more down for the comedy than I thought you would be. But that's okay.
I think, like you said, it was a little misguided comedy, but I think it still played like it should have played. So.
Okay. And I'll just say this before we go. I recognize that I'm in the overwhelming minority on this one because I think the Rotten Tomatoes still through like Saturday evening here has it at like 96 or something. It's top.
I mean, the reason why it's getting such a good following is because the Zac Cregger name is carrying it, and he has Josh Brolin this time, which is like one of the big box office draws. So I think that's what's trying to carry this movie to be number one this weekend.
Oh, dude, and it had. I mean, we talk about marketing budgets on this channel all the time. It had it had stupid marketing dollars.
It didn't at first. Like
really?
I didn't even
like months.
Well, we saw the teaser, and I'm like, "Have you seen this yet?" This teaser that I just kind of found searching through YouTube, and you're like, "No."
Oh, yeah. I mean, in like the last month, I mean, they've ramped up into the launch of this movie. That's what I'm saying. Not like early on, like February or anything. Like they have invested in this. I can't get through 10 seconds of something on Hulu. I watched King of the Hill season 14 the other day. I saw ads for this, I think 40 times, in 10 episodes. So it'll be interesting to see how it shapes up. Horror usually gets the ROI if it hits. Like the opera, somebody told me the production budget on this, I think, was like 35 or 38 or something like that. It wasn't a lot.
It didn't need a lot. You didn't have many locations.
Exactly.
You had a very tight cast.
Yep.
A lot of like you did do a lot of it on soundstage or like the same house, just change up like the way it looks. Like we did that. We used one house on a movie we were shooting at, and we made it look like a business office. We made it look like a house. We made it look like an apartment. Yep. We just changed the aesthetic of different rooms.
Yep. No bloated salaries here. I mean, you got Brolin, you got Garner, Alden Reich, maybe commanded a little bit of money, but I mean, it's a bunch of other largely unknowns.
I pulled the Friday domestic chart.
Yeah.
This is just Friday alone. Weapons.
So no advanced.
18 million.
Yeah, they're golden. They'll be fine.
And then Free Tier Fridays number 2 with 12 million.
Yeah. Which is counter programming. It's for date nights that weren't going to this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how it's going to go. So, I mean, we'll see the numbers. The numbers will be out tomorrow by like 3. We'll take a peek at that. You want to do a number? I'm game to actually get a technical number for a rating for you on this one. What do you think?
7.5.
That's lower than I thought you were going to say, honestly.
No, yeah, because I mean, there were like some creative differences I would have done. I did love the attention all the way up until the reveal of Gladys. I think Gladys could have, her reveal could have been a little bit later in the movie. I love it, like last minute type thing. And then a little bit more explanation, I guess, how things work. Like I understood how things work, but like what's the difference between the bell and what's the difference between the bush? Does the bramble bush actually matter? Can she just bleed on any branch that with her blood? So little things like that, little technical things that brought it down.
You're a magic system guy. That makes sense.
I am. I'm a world builder.
Now, all right, so that's a 7.5 from the King. Dude, I got to do a Winter Wolf's Den first here. I got to give this a 5 for me. Honestly, I have to go that low. I was so bored in that second act, and it got worse when Gladys showed up in Gladys form as the aunt, because I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel at this movie anymore. Like I can't reconcile the tension from the first half with the it bordered on cartoon lunacy for me in the second half, especially like when the addict is investigating the zombie house and he's like waving his hand in front of their faces, and like there's weird background sounds that are like clown noises or something. Like, it was just weird. So I'm like, I can't bounce back and forth of this. Again, big asterisk on it. I know I'm in the overwhelming minority for not enjoying this movie. So you guys can take that with a grain of salt. The King gave it a 7.5. That's a little less than I thought he was going to go, but he still gave it a fairly glowing analytical breakdown. If you like what I had to say about it and you have similar tastes in movies, take your pick. You probably can't go wrong if it's just you been in for a matinee. I'll give it that. But I wouldn't invest on like an IMAX situation if you can find one for this kind of thing. And I might sneak my drink in. I ain't giving them $10 for a Pepsi to see this. King Z, anything else for them on weapons?
Nothing else on weapons, but we do want to thank everyone who's come to the channel recently. We are at a 555 subscriber count.
Triple nickel?
We're on our push to 1,000, and that's where you guys come in. We need you to tell your friends about this. If you like it, share it. If you want more like this comment, leave comments with us. If you want more,
I answer them.
Content. Yeah, I've been answering today. I've done few.
I haven't seen not one. I'll go back in there and double check.
I get busy and then I forget. I have memory issues.
Saturday.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for everything you've helped us accomplish so far on this channel. And we're only going to change from there. If you guys have other movies you want us to do, we have our retro watch that we're trying to get out there. If you have a show that you want us to review, we do this thing called Best of Worst of, where we take the fan favorite and the fan least favorite, and we review them and see if it holds up, if it is the fan favorite, or like if we believe it's the best or worst episode of this series. So
solid out.
After that, we will see you at the movies. Now hit my music.
Oh snap, we got the music.